between BBK Partnerships and Maliban Biscuits in this 10th MCA Super Premier League T20 tournament. It's the second game for BBK Partnerships, and Maliban won their first game, and the second one was an abandoned game. So they're heading the points list. Yeah, this is the points list so far in this T20 tournament 2025. Maliban Biscuits heading the table after winning that crucial game against CDB, and BBK Partnership played only one game, won against David Peary's. David Peary's yet to get on points, and CDB, after winning that game in the morning, they've jumped into the second position with that commanding win, and the net run rate also being boosted for CDB. So this game is very crucial for both teams to stay alive in the top four. Top four will play the semi-finals of the 6 teams league stage. So let's head back to the center with Iran and the 2 captains, with the match referee Basil Pereira for the all-important toss.
Hello and welcome back to the MCA cricket grounds here in Colombo. It's game number 2 for the day of the SINGER-MCA Super Premier T20 League. The game between BBK Partnership and Maliban Biscuits. We have the 2 skippers, VS Kant and Sangeet, and our match official for the day, Mr. Basil Pereira. VS Kant, you have the coin. Can you give it a spin, please? Heads is the call. It's a tails. VS Kant, you have won the toss. What are you going to do first in the surface?
We are going to bowl first.
What do you think would be a good total to chase down later on when you're back? Looks like there are a little bit of scars on the surface. There was a game that happened this morning. So what do you think would be a good total to defend?
I think they have good batsmen, and they did really well in the last game as well. The 200 they chased well, but I hope we will have a good spinners in our lineup. So I hope the 160 is a really good score to chase.
Okay, thank you very much, VS Kant, and good luck for the game.
Thank you.
Sangeet, if you won the toss, what would you have done on the surface today?
Yeah, I was also going to do the same. Yeah, with the wicket.
All right, so you all are batting first. What do you think? According to VS Khan, they are trying to restrict you all to a total of 160 runs. Looks like the track might spin a little bit. What do you think would be a good total to put on batting first on this surface?
I think, yeah, of course, 160, 170, it will be a good score.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck for today's game.
Thank you.
So the news from the centre is BBK Partnership. They have won the toss and they will have a bowl first.
There you go. BBK winning the toss once again. Vyaskanth has some myth with the toss, and he has won all 6 or 7 tosses in the previous games, and they've decided to bowl first. So the BBK side, the 11 for today: Vyaskanth, Ananthan, Edward Nathan, Krishna, Niroshan Dikwal, Ranjit Kumar, Sandhus Gunathilaka, Sarjan Shanmuganathan, Sridharan, Nishantan and Tony Gregg. So the Maliban Biscuits team for today: Sangeet Kure, the skipper; Dhananjay Lakshan, Dushan Hemant, Dushan Vimukti, Milan Ratnayak, Ranesh Silva, the wicket keeper; Ravindu Rasant, Shahan Narachige, Shanu Darshika, Vishen Halabage, and Vanuja Sahan Kumara. So looks a very, very commanding top 11 comparatively. But it's on a given day on the surface. We're using this surface for about 6th occasion consecutively. And earlier in the game number 1 today, we saw how the ball was ripping and turning. Looks a spin-friendly surface. But both teams have plenty of good spinners in lineup. So this could be an interesting contest. I see BBK Partnership players almost coming out to the field. Very young bunch. Most of the players being given the opportunity to play in this MCA Super Premier League. Probably most of them are from the north region, with Vyskant also coming into this scenarios arena when it comes to performing. A very good leg spinner, plays for Tamil Union. So this is a tremendous opportunity for all these youngsters to showcase their talent here at the MCA, the Mercantile Tournament. We've concluded the one-day tournament, and now is the T20 time. So Santosh Gunatilaka will open the bowling for BBK. Looks like it's going to be Vishen Halambage will walk into the crease alongside the skipper Sangit Kure. So earlier had a small look at the surface. Seems to be very dusty. There's plenty of scuff marks. Niroshan Tikwala, the wicket keeper for BBK, has been among the runs for them. Top of the order. Very good, innovative batter. Loves to score runs behind the stumps. So the weather conditions looks good. It's hot and humid. A little bit cloudier, the surroundings around the MCA grounds. But it has been very decent so far. Despite that morning rain, things have been tremendous. The weather gods have given us some light. And Sangit Kure and Vishen Halambage will walk into the crease. The two openers, they've had a very good start in the first game. Got 60 runs in the first 4 overs against the CDB. High riding bowling attack. Especially Vishen Halambage, when he gets going, he's unstoppable. So Sangit Kure will face the first ball, the left-hander. The skipper plays for Coles Cricket Club for many years now. He has that responsibility in his shoulders to build that score. Probably 160, 170 at the toss he mentioned. That could be very good score. So first ball coming up of game number 2. Foolish delivery, nicely driven along the ground. First ball 4. That's a juicy half volley, a freebie for the batter. Driven nicely through that gap. There's a fielder protecting the boundary. There's no chance for the fielder. Look at this ball. Foolish, wide outside the off stump. Placement, perfection. And the ball is racing to the boundary. Brilliant start for Maliban. Again, trying to come down the track, and it's in the gap. Bit of good fielding, but all in vain. Another boundary. Through backward point, there was a slight change in the field. Back at the length, punched nicely to the gap. Diving effort at the boundary line. All goes in vain. Brilliant attempt though, but that awkward bounce rolls it away to the boundary. 2 balls, 2 boundaries for Sangit Kure. What a bright start. Very good ball. He's standing way outside the crease because the ball is not coming on to the bat on this surface. Very good afternoon, Iran.
Very good afternoon, Rajiva. This is Sangit Kure. Well, he's a very talented young man, especially the stats shows is a strike rate, I would call it. He's a better player. 3 formats, in fact, so there you find the average over there. It has been a good start so far, a couple of boundaries for Sangit Kure.
Wide. Straight down the leg side. Santosh Gunatilaka Former Pete Wright, captain, 44 games, 44 wickets. He's very good with the new ball, especially 3 for 23, best bowling. Very good economy as well. So the seamers will have a very tough time on a surface like this because the batters will love to come down the track and then smash you, get the maximum out of the fast bowlers. But the spinners will hold a very good key bowling on this surface. Again, play on a miss outside the stump. Look where he's standing at after his shot being played. He's way down the track.
Yeah, the intentions are clear, Rajiv. Look at that once again, dancing down the track, trying to go through the offside. He's just walking. He's just walking down the track. Well, a couple of steps and then started walking as well. Intentions are clear. He's trying to go after the bowlers.
Well, I'm really surprised the umpire didn't say a word to the batter because his initial movement right in front of the stumps in the good length area. He's walking when the bowler is about to deliver, and then he ends up right in front of the stumps with a good length, beyond that 5-yard mark, the 3 feet mark. Yes, no call. Just another dot ball. It's crucial at this stage. Not a good start for Santosh Gilatilaka, conceding 9 runs already.
Well, it's a different ball game here today for the Malibans. The other day, they did manage to chase down a total of 200 plus runs. That's Vishen Halambage for you. We know what he could do. A very, very powerful batter who could take on the bowler, especially during the power play. So the Maliban, they need to try and set up a total here.
Driven nicely straight to the fielder. First over done. Maliban Biscuits 9 for no loss. So Vishen Halambage, he's a very good striker off the ball, opens the batting at any given team, and he could be lethal. He's a very, very hardcore lethal opening batter, I'll tell you, Iran. When he gets going, it's really unstoppable.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive batter. He would surely try and make maximum use of this power play, especially the first 6 overs, in fact. This is going to be a very important passage of play for this young man.
Back at the length delivery. The ball keeping a little low on this surface, but I'd rather think the conditions of the surface, surroundings, and the outfield, shorter boundaries, you need to get 160 to survive, even on this surface. Again back at the length, good single. He's off the mark. Score moves to 10 now. So Vishen Halambage, 52 innings, 1,100 plus runs, high score 141, but 20 below the average. But look at that strike rate. He is very good. He's a very good striker off the ball. Toured with Sri Lanka, the Zimbabwe T20 series. Didn't get the opportunity, but yet though, he is a worthy player, I'd rather say. Back at the length again, cut away nicely to deep point. So talking about Vishen Halambage, he can be very, very dangerous. if you're a bowler, especially inside the first power play, like you mentioned earlier, Iran. Because when he starts, he's unstoppable. There have been occasions that he has got below 10. He has got out below 10, but the bowler's nightmare. Definitely Vishen Halabage.
Yeah, the Sri Lankans, they would love to have batters like this to go hard at the bowler, especially during the power play overs.
Shot. One bounce to the fielder. Almost. He got out caught there. He can be very dangerous, but that was a miscued shot. The ball is not coming onto the bat.
Well, you would surely see many deliveries in the same manner. The ball will probably stop as the game progresses. It'll hardly come onto the bat, especially it's a tired surface. Many games have been played on this surface so far. So when the spinners are out there, it'll be very interesting.
Again, back at the length, drop and run. This is good batting. Waiting. They're waiting for that loose delivery. That's how it should be. Some of the words going on with the umpire there. You see, probably the batter is trying to run and in the middle of the surface. They could be penalized. They could be penalized. Umpire will give another warning. After that, the 5 penalty runs will be given to the fielding side.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure that you take care of the surface of which you are playing and especially adhere to the rules and regulations of the game, the playing conditions. It's very important.
Especially on this surface, it looks really dusty and scuffed up. Foolish delivery, hammered through the gap. Brilliant shot. Sangeet Kure, you can't bowl there to him, especially the ones that he can drive.
Well, full length delivery asking to be hit. It sounded well from the moment it left the bat. That was 4 written all over it. Poor bit of bowling. You know that he's a very, very strong batter on the offside. And if you did have a closer look at that back swing, it came right on top of the shoulders. That completes over number 2. 16 without loss.
Vishen Halabage still yet to get into his strike rate. So this is what happened earlier. Drop and he's running right in the middle of the surface. That's what the umpire had to come down and have a word with the batters. You can't run on the surface. You'll be penalized if you do it again. Probably that's the message that he has given. Foolish delivery, driven nicely along the ground. Good fielding. Very good stop. Santosh Kulatilaka at mid-off. Well, did he injure himself after diving and saving that? Well, interesting name, Tony Gregg, Iran. What I hear from you earlier, I heard that his entire family have the cricketers' names. Siblings, Larry Gomez. Inside edge in a part of the bat. Again another single. It's an interesting name. He has cousins called Brian Lara and Brett Lee. His mother's name is Lata Mangeshkar, isn't it? Tony Gregg, 32 games, 32 wickets, 6 for 53. Best bowling, interesting name, interesting character. Slightly a little high on the economy side. But he can deal with those with the fast bowler, especially when you bowl in the power play and the death overs. Dot ball, that hit him right in the middle.
Well,
he is in uncomfortable position there.
That's going to hurt him a lot. That was very, very painful. I'm telling you that. He might be feeling that. He needs a bit of exercise. He needs to calm down his nerves a little bit.
He went a little too early. He loves to get some pace on the ball, especially off the surface, to go for a big shot. But that ball not coming on. It's stopping. So Don Badman, Larry Gromas and Steve Waugh are the siblings of Tony Greig. Shot. Brilliant shot. Look at that return from Vishen Halabage. That's the first maximum for Maliban Biscuits.
Well, I'm telling you that it was played with pure anger. He just wanted to give that previous one right back at the bowler, straight over his head. Couldn't have asked for a better response from Vishen Halabage, showcasing his power there. You look, he's still feeling the pain, Rajiva.
Yeah, definitely you can't ask for more after hitting you on the right in the middle. And then next ball goes over the bowler's head for a 6. And the ball being replaced for the 4th time today. So it was nicely pitched up on the arc for any batter. Just a free flow. You will go after the bowling for sure. Definitely pace on. Out of here.
But Rajiv, I'm surprised to see that the seamers are continuing. The reason being is when I was down there in the middle, I saw a lot of scuff marks on the surface. The surface has been, I would call like, it's tired. It's a lot tired. So the spinners, they need to be introduced early on during the game rather than keeping them until it's too late. At the moment, 2.4 overs, 24 runs on the board.
Well, luckily Iran, the ball is back. So they're not going to replace another ball. So yes, I think they're missing the trick by bowling the seamers up front, especially with hard-hitting batter. Vishen Halabage is on the strike, and then he loves the ball coming on. There have been plenty of occasions, spinners been introduced to him, but last game against CDB, he was going after the spinner, especially Villalage and Taruduratnayaka. So probably that's why Vyaskanth is bowling the seamers in the power play. Short and wide. What a catch! Well, I'll tell you, he was flying without wings there. That's a brilliant catch to get rid of Vishen Halabage. And Tony Greig strikes another return comeback after being hit for a 6.
Well, what a catch that was. A brilliant one. He really plucked that out of the hair. Rightly mentioned, Rajiv. He was really flying without wings. Look at that. Stand and deliver from Vishen Halabage. Just took off. Brilliant catch. All credits to him. Well, if there was any kind of chance that the bowlers, in fact the fielders, could get a wicket, that wicket surely deserves to Nishant and Ajay. Brilliant catch. Vishen Halabage, he departs for 9. 24 for 1.
Look at this catch. It was short, width on offer, played up easily. What a brilliant catch. How could you fly like that without wings, Serran? Brilliant. It was good hands. As he struck nicely and firmly. Brilliant take, isn't it?
That was surely travelling at 120 kilometers per hour.
Ravindra Santha, the new batter walking in. Very first ball, gets off the mark. With that single, ends 3rd over. Maliban Biscuits 25 for 1. So new batter Ravindra Santha plays for Coles Cricket Club. Another promising young talent. 7 games, just 55 runs only, but he looks a very good batter than his stats. Especially in the top order. He's been among the runs. So Newton will continue. Another single.
Well, Rajiv, looking at the result in the morning game, where the spinners dominated. I'm still surprised that the spinners haven't been introduced. It's the fourth over of the game, and Maliban, they have got off to a start. Yes, they've managed to grab a wicket, but this service would surely have a lot on offer for the spinners.
Yeah, the wicket was not that convincing way to get a wicket, but because of the fielding effort, they grabbed that wicket definitely. Back at the length again, whipped nicely towards leg side. Because of the fielding effort they grabbed, they bought that wicket. But operating the seamers, well, I'm really surprised too. So far, no spinners been introduced. Probably the last 2 overs they might have a spinner running in. But operating with the seamers, they have not conceded much runs, but comparatively 8 runs per over. But on this surface, with these conditions of the surface, it's way more higher than par. Down the track, slaps back down towards mid-on again. Just a single. They need boundaries, but they need a partnership, Iran, on this surface, especially if 2 batters can hang around. It's not going to be easy to break a partnership. But when it comes, you need to occupy the crease. These 2 batters, they know the combination. They have batted together in the club level at Coles Cricket Club, so their understanding is perfect. Play on a miss again, pace off again into the pitch. Brilliant delivery.
Well, the intentions are clear of the Maliban batter, especially Sangit Kure from the very first ball. There you go, dancing down the track. Once again, the ball, hint of a movement inwards towards the left-hand batter. But he doesn't have the pace that he's expecting. So as batters, you need to realize that this surface will slow down eventually. So you need to take care of your wicket.
Short and cut away nicely to deep point. So far, very good over. Just 4 runs coming off it in the previous over. Newton bowled for 3 runs, and the very last ball was hammered for a 4. Can't afford to do such mistakes when you bowl good 5 deliveries, keeping the runs contained nicely. You can't afford to keep boundaries, especially in the power play. Plenty of batting to come for Maliban Biscuits. Even the other day against CDP, when Dushan Hemantha and Sahan Arachi doing the finishing touches with 5 balls to spare. Shot and pulled straight to the man. Well, this is not good signs for Maliban Biscuits. They're losing wickets. In the last 2 overs, they've managed to capture the 2nd wicket as well. Ravindu Rashantha hurrying him and perishing down at Sportylk.
Well, this is not good batting, Raju. It's poor batting, to be very honest. Poor shot selection. Once again, dancing down the track. The ball not arriving, playing the shot too early. No pace to work on with. Disappointing. The Maliban batters, they need to realize it. Ravindu Rashantha, he makes that long walk back for 3. Maliban 28 for the loss of 2 wickets.
So Dhananjay Lakshan walks into the crease. Number 4 batter, vastly experienced batter. So 4 overs done, 2 for 29. I'd rather say that they have done a tremendous job, the seamers. 79 games, 1,700 plus runs, 88 being high score. Very good strike rate with 8 half centuries. It's another promising young all-rounder. Plays for Coles again. So Sanket Kure holds the key because they're struggling at the moment. Very good ball. Yorker. Tony Gregg into his second over from the scoreboard end. So look at this wicket. He was coming a bit down the track. And then he hurried. He got cramped up with that short ball, hurrying him and trying to go over Sportylk and hitting the upper part of the bat. An easy catch for Shanmunathan at Sportylk. Very short stay for Ravindra Santa. A foul start from Tony Gregg. Currently weather looks a little gloomy, but perfect conditions. The players will feel that comfort of the breeze without the sun being popped up. It's not that humid out there in the middle. Perfect weather for perfect cricket. It's a nice shot. That's an innovative shot from Dhananjay Lakshan. First ball 4. And he's off the mark in style, isn't it?
Well, he is a busy player. You would see many shots like this. Even during the 50-over tournament, I did see Dhananjay Lakshan batting very closely. And he used to be very busy on the crease. He used to play lots of innovative shots. He has come out at a perfect time, and this team has got off to a flying start, and especially during the power plays.
Oh, going for a big shot. There you go. He's out. Well, Iran, you're cursing too much. And then 4, and the very next ball, he has to walk back. Crucial wicket, 3 wickets in the power play. Suddenly, tables turning.
There you go. Pays off. Throws the kitchen sink outside the off stump. Gets that flashing blade. Easy catch for Niroshan Digwal. Catching practice, in fact. Dhananjay Lakshan, a very short stay, comes to an end. Just the 4 runs off the 2 deliveries. At the moment, they're struggling. 34 for 3.
Well, new batter walking in. Left-hander being replaced by another left-hander. Sahana Rachige walks into the middle. Another batter who loves to occupy the crease, spends time and get going. He's a very good player, especially when it comes to white ball cricket. He's been an impressive, especially in that run chase. But he got to deal with a different scenario today.
Well, the fact is that, Rajiv, we were talking about the spinners, but the real fact is that the batters have thrown away their wickets. Yes, the bowlers have bowled it out smartly, but the batters have thrown out their wickets, especially that shot which Dhananjay Lakshan did play. He caught a boundary of the very first delivery. This is Sahana Rachige for you. A very talented batter, 2,000 plus runs in all formats. He has a job to do here with 3 wickets down.
Almost got the outside edge in the very first ball. So you're talking about the seamers being operating and they're bowling into the surface. So that is why it's pace off mostly. And then the ball is not coming on for the bat. And look at that delivery around. That's taking away from the left hand. And Sahana Sahanarachi, very first ball, low bounce, not coming onto the bat. You will struggle, definitely, as you start your innings. A foolish delivery is off the mark, misfield. You never run for a misfield. Basic theory in cricket.
Well, that was a very good comeback from Tony Greig. And look at that previous wicket. Pays off. If you did see that closely, the fingers run around the seam, taking the pace off. Dhananjay Lakshan expecting that pace on delivery once again. And that's what experience could do, especially with Tony Greig. He has been playing for some time throughout this season, so he knows each other in the opponent team as well.
Back at the length, bowling into the surface. And with that hold up, not coming onto the bat. So ends the fifth over. Very good one from Tony Greig. Maliban 36 for 3. So last over of the power play. And spin being introduced. Nishanthan into the attack. Two left-handers out there in the middle. Here's a square leg. And a long off being placed. Probably he's bowling off spin with the looks of the field. That was short, straight to the fielder. Well, this is a very good start from BBK. They've done a tremendous job, led by Uyas Kant. Another dot ball. This is good stuff. They're struggling now. Maliban Biscuits, they kind of work the ball around. Especially the seamers have done a tremendous job picking up 3 crucial wickets, top of the order. But Sangeet Kure, he holds the key. Just a single. They need to get into that 160 run mark. If not, it's going to be easy run chase, especially when you have a very moderate total to chase down on this shorter boundary. Here at MCA, because some of the parts are very short, below 50 probably. So you can't afford to lose wickets, especially in the power play. They've lost 3 wickets and now struggling. Very good ball again. This is good stuff. What a brilliant over. Turning out to be with 1 ball to go. That could be wide. Sahanarachi has been in many occasions in a position like this before. Quick single. Very good running. So end of a very good over from Nishanthan. Just 3 runs coming off it. Power play done. And Maliban Biscuits, they're 39 for 3. So spin from both ends. And the first power play. Krishna Sriram Sridharan balls. Obviously played. That's another brilliant catch. Well, I'll tell you, he has gathered his second catch. It was short. And this is not good signs. Played up Ashley, ball is not coming on to the bat. What a brilliant effort. This is his second catch. Sanarachi walks very slow back to the dugout. He departs for 2 and Maliban Biscuits, they are struggling 39 for 4. Dushan Vimukti, the new batter walking in. Well, I'll tell you, first ball wicket for Shyam Sundaram. Dushan Vimukti, 26 games, 596 runs, 63 high score with 4 half centuries. So this is turning out to be a tremendous performance from BBK. Very young side, not much stars, but they're performing well on big stage. And Shyam Sundaram bowls off speed, gets a wicket, and then now he's bowling left arm orthodox to the right hander Dushan Vimukti. Almost. Well, I'll tell you, this wicket, this surface gripping and turning. Look at this ball. Almost got out caught and bowled. Again stopping and turning. Well, this is turning out to be a tremendous performance. Brilliant bowling attempt, with backed by their fielding. Brilliant catching. And Shyam Sundaram, in his very first over, has not conceded a single run yet. 4 dot deliveries with the first ball wicket. And Dushan Vimukti, he's off the mark. So look at this delivery, very short, played very upishly, but look at that catching. Look at the slide after he gathered it. Brilliant attempt. Very good over. Very good over in the context of the game. Just 2 runs and a wicket from Shyam Sundaram. 7 done. Maliban Biscuits 41 for 4. They've lost 4 wickets, but look at the batting card. Sano Darshika, Dushan Hemanta, Vanuja Sahan, Ranesh Silva, who bats top of the order in club level, and Milan Ratnayaka to come in. All 11 players can handle the bat pretty well. But they are struggling here at 41 for 4 in 7 overs. Nishantan will continue to bowl from the pavilion end. He's the one who gathered those 2 catches. And the bowlers have done a tremendous job, despite Vyaskanth is out in the boundary in the long on position. He has not bowled a single over yet. But the other bowlers have gathered, they've captured 4 wickets. Brilliantly bowled into the surface, sliding through, keeping a bit low. definitely the batters are struggling. The carom ball, brilliantly bowled. Played up Ashley. That's out of here. That was a foolish delivery. And then Sangit Kure goes towards that mid-on region. Played nice and completely middle of the bat towards long on. It's a brilliant shot. Again shot. Can't find the gap. Straight to the fielder at cover point. I have a feeling that they're going for big shots rather than taking those singles and waiting for a loose delivery to go over the boundary lines. Look at that delivery again into the surface. Not coming on to the bat. Though they have got a big 6. Still 4 dot deliveries, keeping it really tight. Nishanthan is a very good fielder, I'll tell you, with those 2 brilliant catchers. Again into the surface, into gap. Just a single. So 7 runs coming off the 8th over, in fact. Maliban Biscuits 48 for 4. Look at this bowling card. Santosh Gunathilaka bowled the first over, gave away 9 runs, but since then, Newton picking up a wicket and Tony Greig 2 wickets for 16. And the spinners have done a tremendous job. Nishant and Ajay 2 overs, 10 runs. And then Shyam Sundaram picking up a wicket in his first over. Just gave 2 runs, and Vyaskant into the attack. A very, very dangerous bowler, very good bowler. 61 games, 97 wickets, 5 for 49. Best bowling. Very good economy as well. Good start. It was not among the wickets in the previous game. Bowled well, very economical spell. But handling his troops pretty well. You know, an interesting fact around, because Sun is not popped out. Probably because of that. The surface is gripping more and turning. Moment that it hits the surface, it might come onto the bat. So 50 up for Maliban Biscuits with that single. Sanket Kure, he's on 28. The only batter has been knocking the ball around and waiting for those loose deliveries. Wrong one. Again single. So probably they need to seed off Vyaskant. Probably target one of the bowlers and get 240 from here onwards will be a very good score. And the look of this surface is not going to be easy for batting. There you see, quick single again. This is good batting. This is good running as well. 4 singles coming off in this over. Boundaries have been dried out. That is because they're bowling well, picking up wickets, new batters walking in. And Sanket Kure on losing partners at the moment. The wrong one again, quick single. This is good batting. Shy the stumps again. Very good over. Just 5 runs coming off it. 9 done. Maliban Biscuits 53 for 4.
Pulling things back.
But I have a strong feeling, but still 140 will be very good score, you know. Because see, the surface is not when the ball gets Nishantan will continue to bowl his third over, 2 overs, 10 runs. Well, he looks like Nishantan, but for me, he's Jonty Rhodes. With those two brilliant catchers, to get rid of two batters who have been scoring runs for Maliban Biscuits. Vishen Halabage, that was a flying catch. And a diving one towards the right hand to get rid of Sahan Arachi. Struck nicely. Boundary. That was a juicy half volley. It was hammered along the ground towards that extra cover region. Look at this shot. Sangeet Kure. He is the key batter for Maliban Biscuits. They can't afford to lose wickets. We all know that there's plenty of batting to come out. Short and nicely punched towards the gap. Sweeper cover. Shanmugathanathan at the boundary. So from here onwards, they need to get to 8 runs per over at least to get into that 140 run mark. But will that be enough when you're chasing a score on this short boundary MCA ground? Spinners will struggle if you don't land those balls in a proper area. Dropped. That was with an offer. Dushan Vimukti goes after it, and then good attempt, but there you go. It was struck firmly. It was too late for it. Goes downtown over the bowler's head. That's out of here. That's his area. He's a very good player, like Iran mentioned earlier. He's a very good offside player. Anything on his arc, anything on his range, he will hammer you. Look at that front leg coming out towards the leg side and then flowing through the line. Straight back past the bowler's head. Costly over. 12 runs, isn't it? 12 runs been scored in this over so far. Much needed for Maliban Biscuits. So lucky the ball is back, Iran. So 12 runs, probably the most expensive over so far in Maliban innings. Driven nicely along the ground. 13 runs coming off the 10th over. Very expensive over. 10 done. 66 for 4.
At the halfway mark, Maliban Biscuits 66 for 4. I'm not very sure if there would be a happy camp. Well, most of the wickets, the batters, I would say, they threw away their wicket. Some good bit of outfield catching. V.S. Khan, the skipper himself, very good with the ball. A very handy player. A bag of experience on his shoulders. I would say that the BBK Partnerships team, they have done a pretty decent job to restrict Maliban. The fact is that the Maliban, being a powerhouse team, Those couple of catches and some good bowling up front have really helped BBK partnerships to keep things under control. Goes for a cross-batted shot. Pierce the field at deep fine leg and square leg. A welcome boundary. After some time, there you go, going down on one knee. There is protection, but still, probably not the place that the batter did intend to go. But he wouldn't really matter as long as the runs come on. Current run rate, touch about 6.5 runs per over. They need to try and get at least 140 runs, especially with this spinning wicket. If they're looking their bowlers to come out later and defend it. 11 overs done, 72 for 4. Sangeet, this old warrior for Maliban Biscuits. He has been out there since the very first delivery. He has fought hard. He has played some lovely shots. He has taken on the bowlers. He needs to continue. He needs to be right at the end. The reason being is he has realized, he has understood the surface. Oh, there you go. That is what I was talking about. Unbelievable bowling. This is brilliant grip out of the surface. That was very close. Went on straight with the arm. A bit of inside edge. That surely saved him. If not, he would have been plumbed. There you go. That's a quick replay. Inside edge, which really saved him. Krishna Sriram is a very, very talented bowler, very capable. Well, if you aren't getting those sixes and the boundaries, that's one way you could make sure that the scoreboard is ticking. Rotate your strike well, drop and run. The batting coaches, they always used to mention that. That's one way you could push the pressure back onto the bowling team. Drop and run. Try and get the 6 singles or maybe 5 singles. You would get that odd bad delivery. I could put it away to the boundary. Just like that. At the moment, Maliban Biscuit batters, they're happy to deal in singles. They're waiting for the bad delivery. But the bowling has been very decent. They kept things tight. They hardly given any chance for the batters. Beautiful, in line with the stumps once again. Good over. 5 runs coming off that. 77 for 4. Well, the field has been spread, especially after the power play. V.S. Kant will continue with his spin. There you go. That's given. That was plumbed. Well, V.S. Kant, he didn't want to even turn back and ask the umpire whether it was out because it was that dead straight. Dushan, he did play a similar shot the last over as well. But he managed to get an inside edge which ran down to the boundary. But this time around, he fails to make contact. As batters, this is something that your coach would tell you over and over again. Don't play across the stumps. Dushan departs for 12. 77 for 5. Shanud Darshika, the new man, walks in. Another capable batter. Turn. The slower you bowl, the more turn you would get. Viaskant, he was looking for that wicket in this game. He was bowling well. He kept it tight and finally pays off. Goes for a big one. That's up in the air. Should be another one. Yes, it is. Straight down the throat of Krishna Sri Ram. Easy catch once again. Viaskant, he grabs his second wicket. Disappointing. Well, once again, look at that. Trying to go across the line. Flat batting it, taking it outside the off stump. This is poor shot selection. A very short stay. Goes for a duck. Maliban Biscuits in deep trouble. 77 for 6. Ranesh walks out to the middle. Well, Viaskant, he'll be a happy captain. Ranesh Silva. Once again, no mark with the bat. But the fact is that they need to spend some time out there. Unfortunately, 6 wickets down. We are almost into the 13th over. And again, that has been swept against the run of play. That's a welcome boundary for Ranesh, but I need to tell you that he's leaving dangerously. The very first ball, playing across the line to Viaskant. Couple of batters have paid the price. Yes, you could get that boundary, but you need to be very, very watchful because he will slide one in. There you go. That was the quicker one. And guess what? If Ranesh had gone down on his knees for that, that would have been very close. A very smart campaigner, Viaskant. Nicely bowled. 5 runs and couple of wickets. 82 for 6. That's the first one. Playing across the line, paying the price, plumbed in front, and again dragging it from outside the off stump. A cross-batted shot once again. Easy catch. Down at long on. 2 wickets for Viaskant, the skipper, leading from the front. Krishna Sri Ram. He'll continue with his left arm off spin. There you go. Once again, trying to go down on one knee and sweep. But look at that turn and bounce. It's not easy to sweep a bowler when the surface is offering this much of turn and bounce. Look at that. There you go. Taking off again. Life has been very, very hard for the batters out there in the middle. Probably get Sangit Kure back on strike. Goes for a sweep. Catches the call. Oh, just over that fielder. Well, valiant attempt, I need to tell you that. A very risky shot. Yes, he did get a 6, but still, that was very risky. For a moment, the fielder down there at square leg, he was in the game. Probably he came a couple of steps in front. Couldn't judge the jump on time. Ranesh, he has played a couple of strokes, but he's living out there dangerously. There will be that one delivery which will come straight on with the arm and will not have any bounce. That's good batting. Rotating the strike. Good one. Looking for a second. Turned down wisely. Just the one run. They have got 8 runs off this over so far. Good one for Maliban Biscuits. We did see that the morning game, the team batting first, they were pulled out below 100 runs. There again, bite off the surface. Well, Ripper calls Rajiva Veerasinghe. Look at that again. In fact, it's a Ripper. Lots of dust coming out of the surface. 14 overs done, 90 for 6. Viyaskant will continue. Sangit Kure, the important fact is that he has realized that this surface is a surface hard to bat on. In fact, they need to see Viyaskant off. A valid point by Rajiva Veerasinghe, my co-commentator. Viyaskant, he's into his last over. Probably the threat for Maliban. But Sangit Kure, he is very, very knowledgeable. He realized that he needs to see him off. One hand comes off. Ranesh, he's living dangerously. Trying to sweep Viyaskant. That could be very risky. He's into his 4th over, just 18 runs, grabbed a couple of wickets. Important fact is that Sangit Kure, he has realized that the surface is slowing down. So anything above 140, I would say, is a very good total, looking at the condition of the surface. There you go, Sangit Kure. The way he started the innings, if you did have a closer look at how he went after the bowlers and how he's batting now, he has completely changed gears, realizing that the surface has slowed down a lot. Probably trying to hang out there maybe until the 17th over. Ranesh, he's trying out everything. The reverse sweep comes off, fails to make contact. Good over so far, just the 3 runs. We're into the last delivery of the 15th over. There you go. Off shape, I would call it. Huge bit of turn. goes for a big one again that turns and bites out of the surface. 15 overs done, 93 for 6. Joining with me back in the com box, Rajiv Veerasinghe. 93 for 6, Rajiv. What do you think about the batting?
So this could be the last over of spin, especially in the last 4 overs. With that's a wide, poor start. So after Krishna Sriram bowls his 4th over, they will have to operate the next 4 overs, the death 4 overs from the seamers, with Dushan Hemantha, Milan Ratnayaka to come in next. They're very good strikers. Can handle long and hit those balls out of the park. So that could be crucial if these 2 batters can hang around for this over and see the spinner off. And go bang bang in the last 4 overs, 10 runs per over, they will get to 140.
It's very important to see the spinners off. Balls it. Easy catch straight down the throat. Rajiv, you're talking about this. You need to see off the spinners. But Ranesh, he was living out there dangerously and finally pays the price for trying to go after the spinners. That's the 7th one down.
Well, very good setup by the keeper, Dikwala, and the skipper. He was right at the edge of the circle, the extra cover fielder. He pushed the previous delivery towards the 30-yard. And Ranesh Silva departs for 13, with Shyam Sundaram picking up his 2nd wicket of the day. And Maliban struggling at 95 for 7. So Dushan Hemantha walks in. Different day, the previous game. They're chasing down that score of 206 plus runs. 70 games, 1,700 plus runs. High score 121. Very good average as well for a low order batter. He's a very good all-rounder. 2 centuries as well. So this could be a very crucial moment in this game. Quick single. He's off the mark. So Ranesh Silva was living dangerously, like you mentioned, Iran, earlier. And it was short and trying to go upish, probably over extra cover, paying the price down the throat of the fielder.
Drives Sangit Kure. He moves on to 50. What a knock by this young man. He started off with a fiery spell, some thrashing boundaries, but now realizing that he needs to settle down and support his team, he needs to be the anchor until the very last ball. Good knock, couple of sixers up front in the innings. Shot just looped up in there, probably should be an easy catch. Easy catch. This is poor batting, Rajiva.
Yeah, trying to work it towards the onside. Top edge, 8th wicket falling. And Maliban Biscuits, they are struggling. 8 down for 97 runs. The top edge to get rid of Dushan Hemantha. And like I mentioned, Iran, they need to see the spinners off and go against the fast bowlers. But they are trying to go after the spinners. This is what will happen, especially on the surface. A very short stay. Dushan Hemantha gets out for 1. And Maliban Biscuits, they're struggling. 8 down for 97.
Well, the new man walks in, Milan Ratnayaka. He's a very good candidate with the bat. He can handle the situation, but the fact is that they have struggled out there. Rajiva did mention that you need to see off the spinners. This is the last over of Shyam Sundar, and probably the pacers will come on, especially in the next over. There you go, keeping low. That has been the story of the day so far. 16 done. Fantastic over, couple of wickets.
Look at this, that holding up and bounce is not coming on to the bat and getting that top edge. And he was really surprised. You can't blame the batter. If the ball is not coming on and hits the bat, the top part of the bat, it is really not easy to get runs on board. But look at Sangeet Kure getting a half century on a surface like this. It's very good batting, and Nishantan will continue to bowl his last over. So probably this is the last over we will see from the spinners.
A good move by the skipper V.S. Khan. The reason being is he's realizing that the spinners have something on offer. But I'm really impressed with the innings of Sangeet Kure, the way he has crafted his innings. It looks very good. Realizing that the service is slowing down, he has completely changed gears, as I did mention previously, Rajiva.
But I feel, Iran, 130 also will be a very good score. 125, 130 will be a very good score. If they get on to bat for the next 20 overs, they need to bat the 20 overs to get there. They can't do it in 18 overs. So if they can bat the next 23 balls with the 2 wickets which they have in hand, I'm pretty sure that they will manage to get to that 130 mark.
The important fact is that they have just a couple of wickets in hand. The wickets column is the issue here for Maliban Biscuits. The run rate at the moment touch about 6 runs per over. So if they do manage to bat the 20 overs, that would be a win for them. That's pitching outside the leg stump. Good call by the umpire.
Yeah, definitely. That's pitch outside the leg stump. It was keeping it low, in fact, as well. And definitely these top order batters, they've struggled so much on this surface. Going for the second run. Return towards the keeper's end. Very good running. That brings the 100 up for Maliban Biscuits, but they have struggled so much.
Absolutely. If you did take a close look at that previous call, the LBW shot the ball, keeping a lot lower compared to the other deliveries. So that's how the surface has been. Poor delivery. Should have been put away to the boundary. Just the one man inside the circle at short fine leg. Sangeet Kure been out there for 46 deliveries. He should have done better.
Comparatively, he has done a tremendous job on the surface, Iran. I'll tell you that. He's the only batter who's been a little sensible on the surface and handled the bowling pretty well, because other batters are all going for big shots and perishing down the throats of the fielders or the boundaries. So end of 17, they're exactly 6 runs per over. They're 102 for 8.
Santosh Gunatilaka. He comes into the attack with just the 3 overs left. So probably Santosh Gunatilaka will bowl the 17th, in fact the 18th and the 20th, and Tony Greig might come on to bowl the 19th over. That should be the plan of V.S. Khan. But so far, things have looked so good.
He might bowl those off-cutters for sure. Bowling into the pitch again, into the gap. Just a single though. From the looks of his field, he has 3 fielders in the offside boundary. Bowling wide outside the off stump, Iran. Targeting to
Let's
bowl
see.
much Yorkers probably.
I did see that the umpire did give a warning. Probably Santosh Gunatilaka running on the surface, I would believe. Milan Ratnayaka. There you go. Handy batter. They need to try and rotate the strike. Get Sangit Kure back on strike because he is the man who has been out there for some time with 16 more deliveries to go. Couple of sixers and maybe 3 to 4 boundaries. Things would be very handy. Up over extra cover. Couple of bouncers. Valiant effort goes in vain. That was asking for trouble. Full outside the off stump. And Sangit Kure, with the form he is, that is a poor delivery, I would call it.
Yeah, half volley. Placed nicely into that gap. There's a huge gap between that sweeper cow fielder. And the long off placement was perfect. Well, Santosh Gunatilaka bowling this line. He's bowling seam up deliveries wide out to the off stump.
Well, that took off. That took off like a rocket, Rajiv. That surprised everyone.
Very good ball. Wide Yorker. Outside the off stump. This is the perfect line. Very good return comeback after that boundary. Now, this is going to be interesting, mind you, Iran, in this run chase. If someone needs to fire it up for the start, in the especially power play.
Well, he's keeping bowling to that exact line and they're coming back for the second run. Well, uneven bounce. Dickwalla is not happy.
Yeah, poor bit of fielding. It was just a single because of that juggle. The batter's crossing for another extra run. This is a very crucial stage, crucial last 13 balls coming up. The boundaries have dried out, especially the sixers. They need to sneak in those second runs and singles.
This time placed. Their wrist protection, probably looking for a second run. Very close. That's suicidal. Sangit Kure, that was the last delivery of the over. And I really have no idea why he was trying for a second run. He should have surely settled down for one run.
There was no second run at all. In fact, it's a very good throw. But look at this. That is poor bit of running. In fact, that's suicidal. Because he was on strike after taking that single. He could have gone bang bang in the next over with 12 balls left. And Nelson on board and 9 down, Maliban Biscuits after 18 overs.
Right then, we have the last batter who has walked out to the middle. Nelson on board. Vanuja on strike. Newton will continue. Inside edge. Could have easily gone on to the stumps. Lucky escape of Vanuja. 112. It looks like probably they might try to get Maliban out below 120 runs. I would call it a valiant effort by the BBK partnership players.
Yeah, this could be a good opener. When Dickwalla walks into the crease, he can go after the bowling. And then he could be very, very aggressive. Shot at the stumps. So Sangit Kure batted brilliantly today. 62 runs, in fact 61 of 51 deliveries, couple of sixes. He was the anchor man for Maliban Biscuits, with all the other batters failing with bad shots. Yorker, very good ball. Just a single again. So like I mentioned, Iran, boundaries have dried up.
In fact, it has been good bowling. This is that innings of Sangeet Kure. Some massive hits down the ground. What an inning, but unfortunately throwing away his wicket. He should have done better. It would have been ideal for Maliban Biscuits if Sangeet Kure would have been out here in the middle, especially with 9 deliveries to go. Full toss. Well, Milan Ratnayaka was halfway down the pitch. Vanuja, he's on strike, and BBK partnerships, they would want to keep him on strike.
Yeah, almost. I was surprised that Newton didn't throw the ball towards the stumps. He sunk it. Vanuja batting and not connecting it cleanly. Again, big whack. Going for the second run this time, gets it. Bowling into the pitch again, not coming on to the bat. They're struggling when the ball gets a little older. It's very dangerous on this surface, Saran.
The fact is that they have realized, especially the bowlers, they have realized that it is a slower wicket. So the more you take pace off, the batters will struggle to connect, especially the previous delivery as well. If you did take a closer look at that, Newton taking pace off. There you go. Pace off again. Good Yorker end delivery. Fantastic over. Just the 5 runs coming off that. 19 overs done. Run 16 for 9.
Well, Santush Gunatilaka will bowl the last over. So whatever they are going to chase, BBK partnership, they need a good start, especially from Dick Weller. For Maliban Biscuits, they will target the openers definitely. If they get a good start in the first 6 overs, it's game over. Because that momentum they can carry out throughout the innings in this run chase.
Down the ground, Milan Ratnayaka, he would want to have bulk of the strike. Now the fact is that when BBK partnerships are out there to chase down this total, it all depends on the kind of start that Niroshan Dikwella does get, because he is a very fancy player. He can take the game away from you within a couple of overs. He's a capable batter. But that wicket will be very important for Maliban Biscuits, especially if they are to defend this low scoring total. Gets it on the full. There is protection at deep point. Just the 1 run. Total moves up to 117.
See, for the past 4-5 overs, there was only 1 boundary being scored. From the spinners, from the fast bowlers, they have done a tremendous job trying to keep it as low as possible for them to chase it down. But to get to 6 runs per over on this surface, you'll have to wait and see for the next 4 balls.
Hammered down the ground, but still just the 1 run. Well, this has been good bowling, especially they're bowling to a plan. Now, if you look at the field, there is a deep mid wicket and a deep long on. And we have 3 fielders out there on the offside. So it's very predictable that the bowler is trying to hit that Yorker length outside the off stump.
Yeah, definitely. His lines are going to be outside the off stump. Not giving that room, that Yorker length deliveries. So batters won't have that liberty to go over extra cover. Like this time, not gets a connect and gets the man. A low full toss. And Santosh Gunatilaka gets his first wicket and the last wicket also for the Maliban Biscuits innings. And they have done a tremendous job to get rid of all batters inside the 20th over. Look at that shot. Not the full face. Bottom of the bat. And Milan Ratnaik, the last man to get out for just 5 runs. And they have definitely struggled. And they were all out for 118 runs. With a brilliant bowling performance by the BBK bowlers. Starting off with Viaskant handling the troops well. Backed by Niroshan Dikwalla. There you see having a slight small meeting just before they go into the pavilion. Niroshan Dikwalla advising this is a gettable score, but you need to bat sensible, especially on this surface with your shot selection. And the batting card for Maliban Biscuits, Sangeet Kure, top of the list, 62 runs. Bulk of the scoring has been done by him. But apart from then, and Dushan Vimukti and Ranesh Silva only getting into double figures. All the batters going for big shots and falling off shortly. Very short stay in the crease with just 3 extras only. And Maliban Biscuits were bundled out for 118 inside the 20th over. What a brilliant bowling performance by the bowlers. And the bowling card, Krishna Sriram Shyam Sundaram. 4 overs, 19 runs, 3 wickets. And Viaskant picking up 2 wickets for 19 runs as well. And Tony Gregg picking up 2. And Santush and Newton getting a wicket apiece. Not much partnerships to talk about with the batters. They've done a tremendous job, the bowlers, for BBK partnerships. So Viaskant winning the toss and electing to bowl first on this spin-friendly surface. The ball is not coming on to bat. Santosh Gunathilka and Vishen Halambake walk into the crease. They got 2 boundaries in the very first 2 deliveries. For a moment that I thought that they will go for 160, but look at this bowling effort. They have done a tremendous job starting off with the fast bowlers picking up wickets. That was the first 6 of the day for Maliban's innings. And look at this fielding effort. Definitely that gave the momentum for BBK after those kind of catches being held on by the fielders especially. And that's the 3rd wicket falling. And they were falling off wickets. Look at this effort again. Krishantan, isn't it? Beautiful fielding. Love to watch those kind of fielding. And then Sangeet Kure anchored the innings in the middle frame. The only saviour for Maliban Biscuits in this innings. The only batter got among the runs. Bulk of the scoring was done by him. And then Dushan Vimukti walked in, and then he was out LBW. It was an easy decision. And then again, very short stay for Shanoj Jarshika. Pushing down at the long on boundary. And Ranesh Silva got a couple of boundaries and got a 6 as well. It was poor judgment down the boundary, but this happened again. Shyam Sundaram picking up 2 wickets in his last over. And Sangeet getting into his half century. So it was a brilliant inning in the context of the game in this surface especially. It's a very spin-friendly surface. It's very hard for the new batter to walk in and get among the runs, score big shots especially. And Dushan Hemanta had to walk back with a short stay. That ball gripping and turning and bouncing off the surface. It was not easy to bat on. And look at this run out. It's a poor judgment. There was no 2 runs at all taking the fielder's arms. And the last wicket to fall, Milan Ratnaik, Santosh Gunathilka picking up his wicket. So 118 runs been scored by Maliban Biscuits, and they will have to struggle definitely to defend this score. And we'll take a short break and we'll be back with live action in this run chase.
Colombo. It's game number 2 of the day. It's the 10th SINGER-MCA Super Premier League 2020 games happening here around Colombo. It's a game between Maliban and BBK Partnerships. BBK Partnerships winning the toss, deciding to bowl first on a slow surface. Pays off well. Maliban Biscuits dismissed for 118 within 19.4 overs. Now if you look at that scorecard, Sangit Kure, the sole member, the opening batter who really guided through the Maliban innings to get to that total of 118 runs. The bowlers, they were very disciplined, just a couple of extras. And the BBK Partnership will need 119 runs of the allocated 120 deliveries to win this game. Right, then we are all set for the run chase. We do have the fielders and the 2 opening batters in the middle as well. It's going to be an interesting run chase. I need to tell you that the reason being is the surface has been very, very favorable for the spinners. Roshan Dikwella, he would be the key wicket to me if Maliban are trying to defend this total, especially looking at the servers and looking at how the first innings did behave. There's going to be a lot on offer for the spinners, so I still think that it might be a decent total to defend. But the important fact is they will need the wicket of Niroshan Dikwella, because couple of overs, if Niroshan Dikwella gets going, then it will be hard for the Maliban Biscuits to stop this run flow. So they need a couple of early wickets, put the pressure on the batters, push them on the back foot, then try to get through and defend this 118 runs. Right then, here's the first ball of this run chase. Good start. Nicely handled by the young batter. Just the 1 run. Sridhar, and he's a very, very talented young batter. I need to tell you that. He's very capable. And this man on screen, he'll be the danger man. Lots of runs under his belt. That's a collective of all formats, but especially when it comes to this T20 format, he's a very destructive batter. He can hurt you as a bowler, especially during the power play. But deliveries like that could really hurt Niroshan Dikwella. As a bowler, that's the kind of deliveries you need to be bowling. Beautiful delivery, that just kissed the off stump. Very lucky. Look at the expression of Niroshan Dikwella. He knew that he escaped it. That's it, bullseye! Straight on with the arm. What a delivery, what a wicket. Sahan Narachiye, he gets the big fish. Niroshan Dikwella, a very, very short stay. Trying to play across the line and pace the prize. He hardly knew what had happened behind him. Well, Niroshan Dikwella, being the wicket keeper, he was behind the stumps for 19.4 overs, and he should understand the fact that that's not the ideal shot that he should have played. He goes for a duck. Well, a very sad start for BBK Partnership. Just the 1 run for the loss of 1 wicket. The new man walks in. Sarujan Shanmuganathan. 2 young players. 2 very talented young players out there in the middle. But the important fact is that they need a partnership here. They know that they will not have too much of pressure with regards to the run rate. But this shot, that's really unexpected. There you go. Disappointing from Dikwella. Smart move by the Maliban skipper, SINGER-MCA. The reason being is he has decided to start proceedings with the spinners, especially realizing the condition of the surface. Ideal start. Couldn't have asked for a better start. There you go. Going straight on with the arm. Brilliant over, just the 2 runs and a wicket. Good start for the Maliban. Dushan Vimukti has been brought into the attack. I'm a little bit surprised, especially the spinners doing their part, especially in the first over, getting that important wicket. We get to see a fast bowler, in fact a spinner, beg your pardon. Dushan Vimukti. The ideal start for Maliban Biscuits. There you go, hurries it on to the batter. Very watchful, Sarujan and Sridharan. These 2 batters, they have a big role to play. They can't afford too many dot deliveries, but they need to take care of their wicket as well. Just like that. Try and work around the singles. Try and get used to the pace of the wicket before going for those big shots. Chasing down this total, it's going to be very hard. Especially if we are off to an awful start, things are going to be really tough. The run rate under control, but every dot delivery would add the pressure onto the batters. Flashing blade, that'll run down to the boundary. Welcome runs for BBK Partnerships and Sridharan. His eyes did flash up when he did see that delivery shot outside the off stump. Gets that outside edge. Beats the fielder inside the circle. SINGER-MCA. And runs on to the boundary for a very welcome 4 runs. This time goes up and over extra cover. Couple of bounces into the fence for 4 more runs. Sridharan showing intentions. Poor bit of bowling. Floating it up. There you go. Lovely cricketing shot. Full flow of the arm. High elbows. Intentionally played over the infield. Rajiva, the wicket of Niroshan Dikwella, has gone early.
Quick single. And this is good batting from Sridharan. He moves to double figures. He was another batter who's among the runs for BBK. But getting that early wicket and bowling the finger spinners, again, right-handed batter taking that advantage. No turn at all. Going over the infield. Got 10 runs off Dushan Vimukti's first over. In fact, 11 already. Very, very costly over. 13 runs after 2 wickets for the loss of 1 wicket. Sahanarachi bowled a brilliant over, picking up that crucial wicket, the prize wicket of Dikwella. He was out for a duck, bowling just for 2 runs in his first over. Coming back in, trying to go for a quick single. They're very much alerted, especially the infield. They will fight for this game.
Well, that's the last thing for BBK partnerships, a run-out receiver. They've lost the important wicket of Dikwella, and that's one thing they wouldn't really want to see.
Equation almost run a ball, Iran. They need to pick up wickets. Another dot ball. That could be wide. Strain down the leg side. Sahanarachi pushing it a little quicker. Trying to hurry Sarujan Shanmunathan. Good ball again. Well, I'll tell you that Sriram, he wants a strike. But he will have to struggle if he needs to get and trying to pinch the singles like that. I see, if that hit the stumps, he could be gone.
Yeah, that was very close. The fact is that he is realizing his batting partner is struggling. So he's trying to get back on strike. Now, if you look at this over, 3 dot deliveries and just the 1 run. So it has been a decent over. So that's the reason that Sridhar is trying to get back on strike.
He will target the off spinner. Definitely he will target Sahanarachi in the previous over. He got a couple of boundaries of Dushan Vimukti. So far, very good, decent over. Wrap on the pads, pitching outside the leg stump. Trying to go for a sweep shot. Yorked himself.
It has been a good over so far. Just the 1 run and the wide 5 tight deliveries from Sahanarachi.
Good bowling. Very good bowling. Very good over. Just 3 runs inside the power play. In his second over, Sahanarachi doing a very good job for Maliban. 3 overs done. BBK 16 for 1. This is a good change. Bringing in Wanuja Sahan into the attack. He's a very good bowler when it comes to the new ball, and especially on the right-handed batters. He can bring that odd ball towards the pads, towards the stumps, and he has a slip field also on the surface. He'll be very crucial. Brilliant start. Bowling outside the off stump. Just a slight bit of hinge of turn.
Spinners will play a major role here.
Very good running. Very good running from Shahrukh. It was off right from the start when the ball hit the bat.
Yeah, the important fact is that if you're not getting the sixes and the boundaries, try and rotate the strike. Keep the scoreboard ticking. That would really help the batting team and would keep the bowling team on their toes. Because the more dots that you would face, you will absorb a lot of pressure into yourself. So you need to make sure that you hardly play any kind of dot deliveries. Try and rotate the strike. You will get that odd delivery which you could put away to the boundary.
This will be interesting. Left hand on strike with the left arm spinner operating inside the power play. Shahrukh is very strong on the leg side. Played up Ishley. Gone. This is very good bowling and a very good change from the skipper. Sangeet Kure bringing in his key bowler inside the power play. And there you go. Another crucial wicket. Shahrukh Shanmugathan has to walk back.
Well, Shahrukh deciding to chance his arm, getting that outside part of the bat and just scooped it up. Easy catch for the fielder inside the circle. Disappointing for Shahrukh. He makes that walk back. 4 of 10 totally. 17 for the loss of 2 wickets.
New batter walking in. Santosh Gunatilaka. He will play a major role in this run chase for BBK. Very much experienced player. 47 matches. 1,000 plus runs. Highest score being 131. 7 half centuries and 100 in his belt. Peter Wright to Peter Wright. He's off the mark in the very first ball. So this is what happened. Shahrukh trying to go over mid-off, the bat turning, hitting the bottom of it, and then the bat twisting. An easy lobbed catch for Milan Ratnayaka at mid-off. Very good over. It's turning out to be a very impressive over from Wanuja Sahan. Picking up a crucial wicket, especially the left-handed batter. And he will continue to do the same inside the power play. 4th over almost coming to an end. Slight change in the field. Taking that slip off and covering those offside boundaries, the offside gaps around. So that is a very good factor, bowling that last over without conceding a boundary. He wants to end it in a grand style. He has picked up a wicket. Brilliant stuff. Very good over from Wanuja Sahan. Just 2 runs and a wicket. 4 done. BBK 18 for 2. Well, this is interesting. Sangeet Kure has lobbed the ball into Vishen Halabage, especially inside the power play. I haven't seen Vishen bowling inside the power play. But he could be a handy bowler, handy X factor on the surface. Wrist spinners, 32 games, 22 wickets, 3 for 52, best bowling. Higher on the average. Well, on the surface, any bowler who can turn the ball will be deadly around.
Interesting move.
Well, what the pressure has built up into Maliban is that they can't afford to bowl Dushan Hemantha inside the power play. So that's why they have opted to bring in SINGER-MCA to bowl this over inside the power play and to keep the runs down. But Vishen needs to keep it really tight. Can't afford to give any of those loose deliveries.
But how about taking a gamble, Rajiv? Bring on Dushan Hemantha. Ask the batters to go after him. Probably that might open up a wicket.
Quicker delivery. He's very much capable of those. He will run in, bowl from his wrong-footed leg spinners, but he will dart it in rather than trying to spin. There you see, pace on. He's not going to bowl those flighted leg spinners. Loves running in and then bowl those sliders, the wrong-footed sliders, hurrying the batter. If he can keep it and maintain it to bowl stump to stump, he could be deadly also. Running the first run hard. Just a single though. So few more spinners in their lineup, such as Hemantha, obviously, the key bowler to defend this score. Sanket Kure. Son of Darshika can roll the arm in with his leg spins. Wrap at the pads! Like I mentioned, he could be very deadly if he bowls stump to stump. And SINGER-MCA strikes.
Well, that's the X factor that you were talking about. Brilliant. For a moment, we did think that if it was the right call, but look at that, the slider hurried on, crashed onto the middle stump, hitting it on the back foot, keeping low. Well, this is a big breakthrough. Saranan Sridharan, he makes that long walk back. Third wicket down, 21 for 3.
The skipper walks into the crease for BBK. Yaskant, he will have a major role, but Santush, he is the key batter at the moment. With all the top order 3 batters who are among the runs have been back in the hut. Quicker one again. He is deadly. Definitely SINGER-MCA. If he bowls stump to stump, he will definitely make you in trouble. So SINGER-MCA bowling his very first over. Look at this, keeping it very low, hitting that back leg. That could be dead rubber. Plum in front. 5 done. BBK 21 for 3. So now, with 2 new batters in the middle, Sanket Kure doing the correct thing. Bringing in the seamer to bowl the last over in the power play. Milan Ratnaka into the attack, 26 games, 37 wickets, 4 for 38, best bowling. A very handy character with his tall right arm seamers on the surface. He could be another deadly bowler around, because with the pace off on the surface, with the invariable bounce, he could trouble the batters for sure. Look at the equation now. There's a gap, and the run rate, required run rate, has climbed up. It was below 6. Suddenly it has climbed up to 6.5. The moment that it goes to 8, then the BBK batters will fall in trouble. They have to maintain the run rate. Upishly played into the gap. Pace on. 4. Beautiful shot on the rise from Santosh Gunatilaka with an offer. It was nicely placed. It was placed upishly. No fielder is very much aware. His fielders are. Look at this shot. Brilliant. He's a very, very key factor for BBK. Again into the pitch, just drops and run. They can't afford to let loose from now onwards. They have picked up 3 wickets. So this could be a very crucial stage in this game, especially up to the 10th over. And then push that run rate above 7, 7.5. With the spinners on, coming after the power play will be very handy, especially with the bowling of Manuj Sahan and Dushan Hemant. Again into the pitch, very good ball. He's bowling those seam-up deliveries into the pitch. Not using the surface to bowl those cutters yet. But he can be very, very deadly when it comes to bowling on the surface, trying to gather some sort of a bounce with the cutters in. Halabake picking up a crucial wicket in the previous over. There you see an appeal, but I think that flicked the inner thigh of the batter, that kept a little low. There you see into the pitch again, trying to bowl a bouncer. That flicked the inner thigh pad of Viaskant. Is yet to get off the mark. You need to bat positively on this surface. If not, you will be in trouble. But you need to make sure that ball goes towards those gaps and place it. Pace off. Good bowling. Just a single. He's off the mark, Viaskant. In the power play in the first innings, Maliban Biscuits, they got 37 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Now, with the last ball to go, BBK partnership, that's 27 for 3. With 1 ball to go. Very even Steven stage here with both teams, but 10 runs short. Coming down the track, hammered. And that's a big 6. Santosh Gunatilaka taking charge here. And Milan Ratnayaka conceding 12 runs in his first over. Saw the ball pace off, coming down the track, hammered over bowler's head. Brilliant shot. He's turning the tables now. You need a batter. You need a batter. You need a Sangeet-Kure in BBK's innings. Power play done. BBK 33 for 3. There you go. Umpire mentioning the second power play. They have the liberty of extending those fielders into the boundary lines. So Halabage will continue from the pavilion end. Well, after this over, the light is a little fading. After this over, the DLS Should be 43 after 7 overs. For the loss of 3 wickets. Quick single. So they need to maintain the run rate and go with the DLS system. The moment that you lose a wicket, that will jump up. With 5 more extra runs. So Santosh Gunatilaka will hold the key. Brilliantly bowled. Wicket to wicket. But it was pace on. You need to bat straight. Against Halabage, you can't go for cross-batted shots. Very soon we will see Dushan Hemanta into the attack. Again shot. Crucial dot ball. Going for a big shot, got the inside edge. Because he got the inside edge, he was saved there. Otherwise it would have gone crash in the stumps. It's a slider again. It was stump to stump, playing for a cross-batted shot again. Could be very dangerous. It was a short delivery. Poor one from Vishen Halabage, dragged down. You can't afford to pull those kind of deliveries when your total is very low. Just 118 runs, a very short one. Poor stuff. After picking up a wicket in his first over, they need some runs. They need to be par with the DLS system. Just a 6 runs. 7 done. BBK's 39 for 3. "78 balls, 80 runs. Runner ball. It's not going to be easy to get runs on this surface. It's spin friendly. The ball is gripping and turning. They will have to deal with 3 overs from Wanuja Sahan and 4 overs from Dushan Hemanta. That could be very, very deadly when it comes to a turning surface like this, especially with classy spinners in your attack. So Santosh Gunatilaka target the shorter boundary. Again, another Peter Wright to Peter Wright. Very well bowled, but brilliantly played down the ground for a single. This will be an interesting run chase, especially after the 10th over. We'll wait and see how the spinners will operate in both ends, especially Dushan. Yet to into the... Oh, bad bounce. Can't blame the fielder. It was short, cut away nicely. Could have been a dot ball. Look at that awkward bounce. There you see, Dhananjay Lakshan was really surprised. You can't blame the fielder. Again, trying to drive outside the off stump. Grip and turn. Need to bowl a little slower. Make that ball do the talking on this surface. Give some room for the ball to turn and grip. Then the batters will be more in trouble. But if you bowl quicker, it's easy. It's coming on just like that. It's a juicy half volley again. A good batter will go over. Definitely. Because a couple of sixes, that equations is going to be minimal. Currently, it's a runner ball almost. It's quite gettable so far still. Brilliantly bowled. That's the line. That's the length I'm talking about. It's not going to be easy. If you bowl into the pitch, make that ball. I see. Brilliant stuff. Very good over. Just 5 runs coming off it from Wanuja Sahan. 8 done. BBK 44 for 3. Well, you will have to bring your key bowler very soon into the attack. And Sangeet Kure has introduced Dushan Hemantha. 77 games. Look at the number of wickets. 132. 8 for 29 runs. That was in the one-day game. In the same ground, he picked up 8 wickets. 4 5-wicket hauls. Very good average, just above 20. He will hold, just like Santosh holds a key factor, holds a major role with the ball. Dushan Hemantha with the bat. For BBK, it's going to be Santosh Gunatilaka for sure. Driven nicely, very good fielding. Good stop. Wanuja Sahan at short extra cover. More dot balls, more pressure. Drifted away towards the pads. Just a single. Yes, indeed. So Santosh probably trying to anchor the innings in this run chase. They need another partnership. This partnership currently building slowly. They were 21 for 3 at one stage. We just can't. Supporting. Played uppishly. Played handsomely. Foolish delivery. Over long off. Big 6. Can't afford to bowl there. Too full. Tossed up. Taking the maximum of it. Riyaz gets his first maximum. 50 up on board for BBK. Again driven nicely. He's bowling a little with a pace. Dushan Hemantha. Bowled a little slower. Inside edge. Another single. Nicely whipped off the pads. Very costly over. 10 runs off it. You can't afford to give 10 runs off your best bowler in the team. So much pressure on board. So 54 for 3 after 9 overs. BBK. So Wanuja Sahan will continue to bowl from the scoreboard end. From now onwards, they need to pick up wickets. From the looks of it, is BBK anchoring the innings with these two batters. 33 runs partnership. Again, bowling into the surface. Slightly quicker delivery, 65 balls, 64 runs needed. If these two batters can hang around for the next 2-3 overs, it's going to be a cakewalk for sure. Very good ball. Bowling stump to stump. You need to give that ball a little room for it to do the talking. Give it some air and bowl it a little shorter. It's another quicker delivery. Pace on. Again from Vanuja Sahan. Trying to dart it in. Fire it in. Well, if Dushan Hemantha isn't going to manage to pick up wickets, they're in trouble. He gets away with it. I think it's a very good decision from the umpire, Sanjeev Fernando. Another dot ball. Again a single. Is there an extra fielder being placed behind the wicket keeper? Is that another extra fielder? Well, Jasahan doesn't have a short mid-wicket to save the boundary, save the single in fact. Very good over, just 4 runs coming off it. 10 done. BBK 58 for 3.
Halfway stage done. 58 for 3. It has been a slow recovery between these two batters, V.S. Kant and Santosh Gunathilaka, two experienced campaigners. They're trying to rebuild these innings. They're well in the hunt, I would say. 61 required of 60 deliveries, 7 wickets in hand. Both these batters, they've been out there for some time, so they know the pace of the surface. So it's just a matter of continuing in their merry way. Couple of steps down the ground. Catch it is the call. And Sahan Narachige takes the catch. Well, that's a big wicket. Santosh Gunathilaka. For a moment, we thought that he might take this game away from the Maliban Biscuits. But one shot too many. He was batting really well. 16 of 21 before he played this. Dushan Hemantha realizing that Santosh Gunathilaka dancing down the track, pulled back the length a little bit and bowled it slow, and a good catch, a running in catch from Sahan Narachige. 4th wicket down. In fact, that's Saranan. He departs 58 for 3. Well, that was an unnecessary shot. A wrong shot played at the wrong time. The two batters that put up a nice little partnership. Now that wicket might be a concern when it comes to the run chase for BBK partnerships. They need to be very watchful. Now with the new batter in. Well, long levers. Mid-wicket settles down. Oh yes, that's a brilliant effort. That's a fantastic effort by the two fielders. Down at long on and mid-wicket. Well, for a moment that was going over the boundary. But job well done. You need to figure out who those two players were. Valiant effort. Fantastic catch. All credits.
Look at this effort. Tossed up, going for a big shot towards mid-wicket. In fact, I think it's Sano Darshika at the mid-wicket boundary. Yep. Brilliant. That is brilliant. Look at Sanarachi backing his fielder, his teammate. That is astonishing, Iran. Brilliant. This is a major comeback from Maliban, picking up 2 crucial wickets at crucial stage. And Newton departs for a golden duck. And we got a game in our hands. BBK 58 for 5.
That was a big wicket. Dushan Hemant, he's on a hat trick. Well, the important fact is that Sahanarachige backing up his fielder, making sure that there is someone to hang on to that if the fielder throws it in. That's called teamwork. The new batter walks in, Ananthan. He'll be facing a hat-trick ball from Dushan Hemanta. BBK partnerships, they're in deep trouble now. 58 for 5, 61 runs required of 58 deliveries. That was bowled a lot flatter. He should have bowled it up. Probably slipped out of his hands. Missed on an opportunity. Here's a quick look at that catch again. Long levers. That was a clean hit, but talk about that catch. Fantastic effort. Loud appeal. Probably sliding down. Yep, there you go. The umpire clearly indicates that it's sliding down the leg side. The wrong one. That's that catch again. Brilliant effort. Well backed up by Sahanarachige. That was taken off the stumps. Suddenly, Dushan Hemanta, he's on his toes. The Maliban Biscuits, they do believe. They managed to grab the 5 wickets, just the 5 more wickets required. VS Khan goes for a big one. That completes over number 11, 59 for 5. Shano Darshika, the right hand leg spin. More spinners into the action. It's going to be very interesting for the Maliban Biscuits. They're hunting for wickets. They're looking for wickets. Fired it in. Gets a run. The important fact would be the wicket of VS Kant. There you go. Just over the bowler's head. Opens up a way to grab that singer. VS Kant, what would be his role now? Will he try to go after the batters or probably rotate the strike? Shot outside the off stump. There is protection at the cow boundary. Just the 1 run. Probably they need to try and rotate the strike maybe up until the 15th over. Get another 20-25 runs. Get closer to the target. That is what is important. 35 runs of the last 5 overs with 5 wickets in hand. Yeah, they would be happy. That's what's important at this point. Ananthan walks across the stumps. Well, interesting appeal from the wicketkeeper and the rest of the fielders. Let's have a quick look at what happened there. Yeah, just a bit of fun by the wicketkeeper. trying to play some games with the batter's mind. Yep, that spin, turn and bounce, it's ripping off the surface.
I was wondering, Iran, where was Anandan running?
Probably off balance, just wanted to make sure he's within his crease. Easy single. They need to try and avoid the dot balls as much as possible. Get a single off every delivery. Take it down to probably that last 4 overs. 30 runs of the last 4 overs. Very much gettable, especially in this format of the game. Viaskant, he will be the key factor of this run chase. It has been a decent over so far. In fact, it has completed the over. 4 runs coming off that. 63 for 5.
So Dushan Hemant into the attack, continuing to bowl from the pavilion end. Gave away 10 runs in his very first over and picking up 2 crucial wickets with that brilliant catch at mid-wicket. A quicker one, dragged down. Well, Iran, after this over, with the fall of 5 wickets, BBK should be 77. The light is slightly fading away, and Dushan Hemant is deadly. A quicker one. Run out. Is it? A direct hit.
Well, that's too hard on the umpire, Achiever. And that happened in a flash. There you go. Oh, very close. Very close. But very tough call for the umpire, because it all happened in a flash. Very, very fortunate for the batter.
Definitely you need a third umpire for those kind of decisions, Iran. It happened in flash. Coming down the track. Driven nicely. Just a single though. Well, this is what happened. His bat is in the air. Yeah, definitely. Again, a quick run. This is very risky. These 2 batters won the wickets.
Well, they are living dangerously. That's the important fact. They're trying to score off every delivery, but that really doesn't mean that you need to look for the suicidal runouts. Couple of deliveries back, things would have been different if we did have a third umpire. Flashing blade. There is protection, just the 1 run.
Probably they are much aware, Iran, that they need to be par on the DLS system. So they are running at everything now. At this stage, 43 balls, 51 more runs needed with 5 wickets in hand. Tossed up delivery. That came as a Yorker, in fact. Look at this delivery. Almost crashes the stumps or getting into his boot. Good over. Just 5 runs of it. 13 done. BBK 68 for 5.
Well, the umpire was interested in that appeal as well. Just a bit of smile on the umpire's face, looking at the wicketkeeper. Mate, you need to slow down a little bit. You're screaming at the bottom of your voice. Good to see. Happy faces, smiling faces.
So end of this over, there should be 82. Flash at it. Just a single. Bowling those leg spinners wide outside the off stump. Not giving that room for the batters.
Well, probably the two batters, they're trying to go after the bowlers. Walks across the stumps, hitting outside the off stump. Good decision by the umpire.
They're trying to go after the bowling. Definitely they're struggling now. Look at the required run rate, 7.5 now. It was struck outside the line. Definitely missing the off stump. And look at the Duckworth-Lewis score. They should be 82, 81 plus 1 run to win. It's a very good over so far. Into the pitch again, slider. Trying to target that shorter boundary in the mid-wicket area. Sanoj Darshika doing a very good job. Halfway through the 14th over, he ran just 2 singles. Now Viyaskant holds the key. They need a boundary, they need a big over. He's bowling into the surface, there I see, throwing at everything.
Yeah, the fact is that they need 49 runs of 38 deliveries. It's not a target that isn't achievable, but the fact is that the surface is offering a lot to the spinners. The batters, they're struggling out there, really. There you go, inside edge. You call it the Chinese card, but there is protection. With all effort going in vain. The batters trying their best.
And that was pitch outside the off stump again. Slider going for a big heave on the off stump. And then no feet movement at all. Making room, slapped. Just a single. Very good over in the context of the game. Just 4 runs from Sanoj Darshika's second over. 14 done. BBK 72 for 5. I see, probably that balloon was sent from the Met department. He's very close by, next door to us. Trying to get probably a better weather report. I see. Beautiful capturing from our camera crew. So end of this over, they should be 80. It should be 87 after 15 overs. So Wanuj Sahan bowling his last over. He's bowled brilliantly a run. Just 11 runs, picking up a wicket as well. Again into the pitch. Singles won't help. BBK, they need a boundary or two to keep up the run rate. Almost dragging it to 8 runs now. Then only it'll be coming into trouble. But one boundary away, that equation will drop down. They can't afford to bowl and go keep those boundary balls, especially Viyaskant trying to go extra cover and mid-off. That's his favorite area. Quick single. Good running.
Well, it has been a tough day for the umpires. A lot lots of close calls. There you go. Straight into the hand of the fielder. Good flat throw. Very close again, but just the batter makes his way towards the crease. 74 for 5. BBK partnerships, they're trying their best. They're trying to go after the bowlers.
Good ball. Very precious at this stage. Vanuja Sahan, he's not trying to turn the ball. He's trying to dart it in towards the stumps. Again into the pitch. Bowls very slower. This is good bowling. Just 3 runs conceded off his very first 4 deliveries in his last over. And trying to contain the batter. Now the run rate has climbed up again beyond that 8-run mark. Bullish delivery. There's protection down there at extra cover. He's bowling it to his field. This is great stuff.
The fact is that Vanuja, he isn't trying to turn the ball much. He's just making sure that he's bowling in line with the stumps.
Totally unnecessary, that is. Conceding that extra run. 6 runs coming off it. 15 done. BBK 78 for 5. A brilliant spell by Vanuja Sahan. 4 overs, 17 for 1. He's done for the day. But Darshika, he will play a major role with his wrist spinners. They might try to target one of the bowlers now, especially towards that mid-wicket area around the shorter boundary. Tossed up delivery, hammered, like I mentioned. Paying the price, bowling the wrist spinner from the shorter boundary lines.
There you go. Floated up. V.S. Khan just gave it a proper whack out of that big willow. All the way over mid-wicket for a big 6. Very important 6 runs for V.S. Khan.
Dot ball. He's bowling outside the off-stump line. The moment he bowls it stump to stump, it's a freebie, especially on this surface with a shorter boundary into the leg side, mid-wicket, mid-on region.
Well, one more 6, Rajiv. Things can turn upside down.
Well, what a catch! Well, I was thinking that it was going over the ropes and there was height, but not the distance around.
Well, disappointing for V.S. Khan. He clearly thought that he did manage to go over the ropes. There you go. There you go. For a moment, he thought that he got the distance, but it was only the elevation. But look at that. Good catch. Well, Milan Ratnayaka. In his eye line, he did see Vanuja running in as well. So that's a very well judged catch. V.S. Khan, he fought hard, walks back for 34, a runner ball 34, 84 for 6.
So Edward walks into the crease, number 8 batter. This is getting more interesting. What a brilliant catch at the boundary line, right at the edge of the boundary. Milan Ratnaik, he had to cover a bit of yards. He ran in from long on towards that gap. Good judgment. Again into the pitch, going for a quick single. Good bit of anticipation from the nice striker, Anandan. Look at this catch. This is brilliant fielding. It was height, not the distance. For a moment I thought I'd gone over the ropes, but what a catch. Right at the edge. Handling that pressure, handling that ball perfectly right at the edge. Brilliant catch from Milan Ratnaik to get rid of the prize wicket. Obviously played again. The fielder under it. An easy one again. So wickets keep on falling for BBK partnership. 2 wickets in this over for Sanoj Darshika. Trying to go for a big heave against towards that mid-wicket area. And paying the price. Top edge. Brilliant catch at mid-wicket. That's Wanuja Sahan. Fielding has been impressive from both sides, isn't it? Anandan Kajan departs for 11. And BBK struggling, 85 for 7. Two wickets falling in this 16th over. Left-handed batter Krishna Sriram walks into the crease. Krishna Sriram, Shyam Sundar, 10 games, 84 runs, 27 his highest score. He will have to do something for BBK to cross the line. He's facing his teammate from Coles Cricket Club. These two players plays for the same club. Wide. Straying down the leg side. Another brilliant delivery from Sanoj Darshika to get rid of another batter who was among the runs. Got to 11. Got to the double figures. Brilliant catch. Wrap of the pads. There you go. That finger comes up slowly of the umpire Sanjeeva Fernando. 3 wickets in this very over from Sanoj Darshika. He's turning the tables, turning the game towards Maliban Biscuits. Look at that. That's dead rubber. That's an easy decision for the umpire. Golden duck for Shyam Sundar. And 8 down for the loss of 8 wickets. BBK 86 runs. So Dushan Hemant into his last over. Driven nicely along the ground. Well, now they need 32 runs of 23 deliveries. Look at this last wicket. Pitched probably in line and then going to hit the middle stump. That slider completely deceived Shyam Sundar. Easy decision for the umpire. 3 wickets in the previous over. That's the wrong one. Very well defensively played from Nishanthan. Dushan Hemantha bringing things back into BBK's batters, picking up 2 wickets. Swept nicely and fine. Trying to go for the second run. The keeper couldn't gather it. Awkward bounce in front of him. Not a good throw from Ravindu Rashantha at the Sportylk boundary. Dushan Hemantha was struggling. And Santosh Gunatilaka threw his wicket away. And the very next ball, it was a brilliant catch to get rid of the left-handed batter, picking up 2 crucial wickets and changing the tables back into Maliban Biscuits side. It was a great performance, but yet the game is not over. Trying to go for a switch hit. Loud appeal.
Well, things are getting spiced up here at the MCA grounds in Colombo. Looking for a switch hit. Sriram going down on one knee. 20 of 30. In fact, it's Nishanthan. Sriram got dismissed the previous over. Beauty. Gets an inside edge. Dushan Hemantha. He's turning things on here.
This is brilliant stuff. Using the surface nicely. Bowling that slider. Look at that inside edge. Almost crashing the stumps. That's a big shot. And that's a 6. Well, taking Dushan Hemantha in the very last ball. Well, interesting stuff, isn't it, Iran?
Well, against the run of play, going down on one knee. Previously, he tried to go offside, but this time he clears the leg side. Big shot out of the ground. Very important boundary at the end of the over. 17 done, 95 for 8.
"18 balls, 24 runs with 2 wickets in hand. Still it's gettable, Iran."
Yeah, in fact, it's very much gettable. The only question for BBK partnerships would be the wickets column. Just the 2 wickets in hand. But it's going to be an interesting over. Sanoj back in action. Beautiful delivery. Beautiful delivery. Taking that onside play out of the equation. Pulling it outside the off stump. Well, that wicket of V.S. Khan, that was a costly one for BBK. Once again, outside the off stump, looking for a single. Good bit of fielding. Good bit of fielding, I need to tell you that. Umpires, they've had a busy day out there today. Lots of drama, lots of things happening out there.
Very interesting passage. 2 sixes will bring things back into BBK's hands, but Nishanthan striking that 6 in the very fast last ball of Dushan Hemantha's spell. This is going to be very interesting, Iran. This game is turning out to be very, very interesting. The spinners will be done. They will have to bowl the seamers in the last 2 overs. They need to take the 2 wickets. That could be wide. Way outside the off stump. Well, Nishanthan trying to go towards the leg side again. Again played up to mid-on. Another single. This over will be very crucial with the seamers to bowl the next 2 overs. Very much gettable still for BBK partnership. They have 2 wickets in hand. 14 balls, 21 runs. Very good ball. Precious dot delivery. Bowling wicket to wicket. The fact is, Rajiv, Edward, he's wasting a lot of deliveries. Too many dot deliveries. Well, the previous last ball went for 6. The last ball coming up. Bold. That's a brilliant delivery. Sano Darshika getting his 4th wicket. And things turning back onto Maliban Biscuits' hands once again with that follow wicket. Bullseye. Well, disappointing, the wrong one. Didn't pick it really. Throwing the kitchen sink a big whack. Slided on with the arm. Sanoj completes his spell, 4 for 19. That's the 9th wicket down. 98 for 9. Well, a kind of a tense dugout, the BBK partnership. We do have some fans who have come up here to witness this thrilling encounter. We are almost to the end of day's play, Rajiva.
Definitely 2 overs, 21 runs with 1 wicket in hand. Dhananjay Lakshan been introduced. Like I mentioned, they're done with the spinners. 74 games, 70 wickets. 4 wickets for 9 runs being the best bowling. So they will have to operate the seamers. And then just a wicket left. That is the important factor here. But 21 runs in 2 overs is quite gettable in T20 in a shorter ground like this, shorter boundary ground. But they have only 1 wicket to run.
A key factor, Rajiv, the wickets column. That's the problem for the BBK partnerships. And also, you'll see a lot of slow balls from this man. He's a very smart candidate. There you go, a very slower delivery, but that goes the distance. Out of here. That's a big one.
Like I mentioned, couple of sixers will bring the game back into BBK partnerships, and poor delivery back of the hand and then perishing, and with that 6 brings the 100 for BBK partnership.
Well, Rajiv, if you're someone who take a closer look at this player, if you have followed him up in the past, he will bowl a lot of slower deliveries. And another one.
High up in the air. That's the end of it. That's the game. Again, the back of the hand delivery. A slow delivery again from Dhananjay Lakshan. And he gets his man, the last wicket. And this is a brilliant bowling performance from Maliban Biscuits team. In fact, it's a very good team effort, good fielding, couple of very good catchers. And Sano Darshika picking up 4 crucial wickets and defending that 118 runs and winning the game by 14 runs a run. This is outstanding performance.
Absolutely. It was a thrilling encounter between these two teams. They gave it all. The important fact is that BBK partnership fighting until that very last delivery. But Dhananjay Lakshan, he had the guts to go out and bowl a couple of slower deliveries. The first one, it was pumped out of the park and coming again and bowling another slower delivery. But that did work out. He did manage to grab that last wicket. Overall, it has been a fantastic performance by both these teams on a very tough surface, a very slower surface.
Definitely. This is outstanding. Defending that 118 runs was not easy. Definitely it was not easy. A team effort. And bowlers did a great job backed by their fielders. Brilliant performance from Maliban Biscuits, and that's the batting card for BBK partnership. Top of the list, Sridharan got a good start, got out for 13. Vishen Halberg picking up that crucial wicket at that stage was very pricey. And Santosh Gunathilaka getting 21. Viaskant got 34 runs, but the fall of his wicket was very, very disadvantage for BBK partnership. And right at the bottom, Nishanthan getting 15 runs with 2 big sixes. Nothing much to talk about the other batters with 3 extras. They've been very good and very disciplined. Inside the 19th over, BBK were bundled out and all out for 104 runs. Bowling card right at the bottom, Sanoj Darshika. Magnificent performance to get that catch, dragging it, and Sahanarachi doing the last touches, but with the ball he picked up 4 wickets for 19 runs in his 4 overs, and Dushan Hemantha picking up 2 wickets as well. Bowled brilliantly, and a wicket apiece for Sahanarachi right at the top, and Wanuja Sahan picking up a wicket, and Halabake also Dhananjay Lakshan picking up a wicket as well. So it was a brilliant bowling performance by Maliban Biscuits to restrict BBK for 104 and winning the game by 14 runs. Dikwal and Srinath came into bat as the openers, and Dikwal falling off in the very first over of Sahanarachi. That was a brilliant delivery to get rid of the danger man. With his start, would have been very, very crucial in this run chase. And then Shangunathan getting out, and that was the wicket. That was the wicket of the bowling of Shane Halabage. And Shantosh Kulathinka walked in, and there was a nice partnership built by these 2 batters, and taking the fast bowlers on, and then getting those boundaries in the loose delivery, especially targeting the best bowler also in this first over, getting 10 runs. And then this happened. Very, very unnecessary shot by Santosh Gunatilaka. And then the very next ball, this is the catch I was talking about. What a brilliant effort from Sanoj Darshika. What backing up by Sahanarachi also. Since then they struggled, but Viaskant kept on going. He was batting brilliantly, and then this happened. Another brilliant catch right at the edge of the boundary from Milan Ratnayaka. Sanoj Darshika striking the very next ball as well. 3 wickets falling off in his 3rd over, and doing the finishing touches. He was brilliant with the ball today. And Dushan Hemantha's last ball going for a 6, and then the 9th wicket falling. That was the 4th one for Sanoj Darshika, and 6 off the very first ball, and the very next ball Dhananjay Lakshan picking up the last wicket, and they were bundled out for 104. BBK partnership, and tremendous bowling performance from Maliban Biscuits to win this game by 14 runs. So summary of this game: BBK partnership skipper Viaskant winning the toss, electing to bowl first, and Maliban Biscuits were struggling to get among the runs, but Sangeet Kure got into 62. That was very valuable. And then Shyam Sundaram picking up 3 wickets, Tony Greig and Viaskant picking up 2 wickets apiece. They were bundled out inside the 20th over for just 118 runs, and in reply BBK were all out for 104, with Viaskant top score 34 of 34 deliveries, and Santosh chipping in with a valuable 20 runs. But look at the bowling effort. Sanoj Darshika 4 for 19 in his 4 overs. What a brilliant performance. For me, he could be the man of the match. Definitely tremendous performance from Maliban Biscuits, and winning this game by 14 runs, and they will be in the top of the table of this T20 tournament. So that's it from all of us, from the crew of Sporty, and stay tuned with YouTube and Sporty.lk. And that's it from all of us here at the MCA grounds. We will see you with live action with 2 games to come up on the 10th. Until then, goodbye and good night.